All right, let's talk about a real hidden gem in the world of wine. We're about to uncover a place that's making some of the most exciting sparkling wines on the entire planet, and I'm willing to bet it's not where you think it is.
So, when I say New World wine, what pops into your head? Probably California, right? Or maybe the vineyards of New Zealand. But what about for world-class, top-tier bubbly? Well, the answer is somewhere you would probably never guess.
Yep, you heard that right. We're heading to the Serra Gaúcha Mountains in southern Brazil to this incredible little place called Pinto Bandeira. And believe me, this small region is making a huge name for itself. It's a total game changer for sparkling wine. So what is the big deal about this town way up in the mountains? Well, it all boils down to this really prestigious seal of quality that sets it apart from literally every other wine region outside of Europe. In 2022, Pinto Bandeira earned this incredible designation, the Denominación de Origem, or DO. It's kind of like how you can only call it champagne if it's from Champagne, France. It's a legally protected guarantee of quality and origin. And get this is the only one of its kind in the entire New World that's dedicated exclusively to sparkling wines. That's a huge deal. So, what's their secret sauce? How does this one small region produce such fantastic sparkling wine? The answer is a single, beautiful word that every wine lover knows and loves: terroir. You can think of the terroir here as nature's perfect recipe for bubbly. It's this magic combination of three things: super high altitude, a really unique climate with big temperature swings, and these rich volcanic soils. So let's unpack what each of those actually means for the wine that ends up in your glass. Okay, this daily temperature swing, it is the secret weapon. Seriously. The warm days help the grapes get all sugary and develop these deep, complex flavors. But then at night, the cool mountain air rolls in, and this is crucial because it locks in the natural acidity, which is the absolute key to making sparkling wine that's fresh, zesty, and just sings with vibrancy. It's what makes champagne champagne. That slow, perfect ripening is everything. And it's not just the air. The ground itself plays a huge role. These ancient volcanic soils are just packed with minerals, and they drain water incredibly well. Now, that might sound a little strange, but it's actually an amazing thing for wine. It forces the vines to struggle just a little bit, which makes them pour all their energy and flavor into a smaller number of super concentrated, incredibly high-quality grapes. But look, this amazing terroir is really only half of the equation. The other half is all about the people who settled here and, of course, the classic grapes they decided to plant. And this success did not happen overnight, not at all. We're talking about a story that starts way back in the late 1800s with Italian immigrants who brought their deep passion for winemaking to these mountains. For generations, they perfected their craft, which led to their first big recognition in 2013, and then finally, that historic DO status in 2022. It's a journey that took over a century to unfold. And the stars of this whole show? Well, it's a classic power couple, Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. Chardonnay brings the elegance, the structure, that beautiful backbone with notes of green apple and citrus. And Pinot Noir, even when you're making a white bubbly, adds this incredible complexity, body, and these subtle hints of red berries. Together, they are just perfect harmony in a glass. Okay, so perfect place, perfect grapes. Check and check. But how in the world do they get those tiny, elegant, persistent bubbles into the bottle? Well, the answer is a ton of hard work and a whole lot of patience. They use what's called the método tradicional, or the traditional method. And this is the real deal. It's the absolute gold standard for making sparkling wine. The exact same laborious, time-honored technique they use in champagne. It's really what separates the good from the truly great. So here's how it works in a nutshell. They make a regular still wine, then they add a little bit of yeast and sugar, and they seal it up in the very bottle you're going to buy. Then a second fermentation happens right there inside the glass, which naturally creates the bubbles. And that's not all. The wine then sits on that spent yeast, what they call the lees, and that's where you get those amazing creamy textures and complex notes of toasted bread and brioche. Just incredible. All right, so we know how it's made, but when you see that DGO seal on a bottle, what does it actually mean for you? Well, you can think of it as a promise of authenticity and amazing quality. You have to remember this year, 2022, that was the moment. That's when Pinto Bandeira officially, and I mean officially, stepped onto the world stage.
It's the year this hidden gem got the seal of approval that puts it in the same conversation as the great wine regions of Europe.
And that seal isn't just for show. It comes with really strict rules. The wines have to use specific grapes, they have to be made with the 100% traditional method, and aged for at least 12 months on the lees to build up that complexity. And maybe most importantly, every single grape has to come from the high-altitude vineyards of Pinto Bandeira. It's all about ensuring that every bottle with that seal gives you a true, authentic taste of this remarkable place.
So if you're lucky enough to find a bottle, here's a little cheat sheet. If you want something classic, dry, and refreshing, look for Brut. It's perfect with seafood. For something fresh with those delicate red fruit notes, the Rosé is fantastic with salmon or light pasta. And for those of you with a sweet tooth, the aromatic muscatel is just an amazing partner for desserts or even a bold blue cheese.
But this story doesn't just end here. The winemakers in Pinto Bandeira are not just thinking about this year's harvest. They're looking way down the road, planning for the next generation.
You know, for these producers, sustainability is not just some trendy buzzword. They get it. They know their unique terroir is a treasure, and they are absolutely committed to preserving it. That means using practices like organic farming, managing their water carefully, and investing in renewable energy to protect this special place for decades to come. So when you put it all together, a legally protected identity, an unwavering commitment to quality, and a story that's captivating the wine world, man, the future for Pinto Bandeira looks brighter and more sparkling than ever. It feels like its place on the world stage isn't just deserved, it feels like destiny.
At the end of the day, a bottle of sparkling wine from Pinto Bandeira is so much more than just a drink. It's the story of Italian heritage, it's the taste of a unique mountain climate, and it's a celebration of a passionate community that has a very, very sparkling future.
And after hearing about Pinto Bandeira, you just have to ask yourself, right? If a place this incredible could fly under the radar for so long, what other amazing, world-class, hidden gems are out there just waiting for us to discover them?